It's a cold, beautiful day in Alberta, and we're out shooting some rimfire rifles. When I first started shooting, I made the mistake of avoiding rimfire because I felt, I really needed a full-bore cartridge for all the important things that I was doing, and that 22 is really just sort of a children's kind of game. I've since come around from that and find that 22 is a fantastic way to shoot and a great way to build skill sets without spending a ton of money, and also just a lot of fun. So what we've got here is a standard 10-22 receiver with an 11-inch Delask barrel on it, and then all set in the Fab Defense Chassis. This one was provided to me by Zahal, and in order to maintain the non-restricted overall length, I've had to JB weld this folding stock in a permanently open position. Fab Defense now makes a fixed stocked version straight from the factory. If you look through my gun safe, you'll find I have a couple of different firearms wearing this same style of stock. This is the Fab Defense UAS, and it's got some things that I really like as far as a decent ergonomic grip, some standard QD mounts, a nice folding feature in the right length. But the big thing for me is that it's got an adjustable cheek riser on it. So on different firearms where I'm switching between iron sights and optics and maybe a low set red dot like this one, we can take our cheek riser and just collapse it down really, really fast. We do have a tri-rail area of polymer Picatinny rail, but we also have a dedicated grip space, which is really nice. And then along the top, this version comes with an integrated optics mount. So the optics rail here threads into the receiver of the 10-22 and to the stock itself. And you can see that we've actually got a cutout here. So if we were still using our factory barrel, we could have space for the rear sight there. This is a Delask 11-inch barrel, and it is threaded on the end. Not that muzzle devices are doing a whole lot with the 22 caliber anyways, but I've put an A2 on there just to protect the threads. The thing that I really like about the rifle in this kind of setup is not only is it fun to go out and just play with as far as I'm concerned when shooting, but when I'm taking new shooters who maybe aren't as experienced or don't even have a firearms license yet, this gives them a baby step that still looks really cool. And with new shooters, that kind of thing matters. So I can take this, and if somebody's interested in shooting a DMR, right, before I move them over to the Colt, I can set a bipod on this and a scope on this, and we can ring the gong at 50 yards, and they can find out what that feels like. In the same way, if we have somebody who's more interested in running and gunning, we can put a forward-mounted red dot on there, we can put whatever grips or lights or lasers they want, and they can play with that without having to go through the concussion of a 7.5-inch, 223. I don't think it's out of line to say that the Ruger 1022 is essentially the AR-15 of rimfire rifles. You can do all kinds of things with this platform, right? You can put all kinds of different barrel lengths, all kinds of different barrel profiles, lots of different stock and chassis assemblies, lots of different aftermarket upgrades, optics, charging handles, magazine releases, all that kind of stuff. Except, of course, that it is rimfire, so it's cheaper to build and cheaper to shoot. I find that this setup, particularly in Canada where I can have the short barrel as long as I'm maintaining that overall length, this makes for a great little plinker.